Thor Explorations is a West African-focused gold producer. It's listed both on the Toronto Venture Exchange and here in London on the AIM market, and it's moving into lithium. The company's just announced that it's got this new project under its wings, but it's also given us an update as well on its other operations. The chief executive is Segun Lawson. He joins us now. Segun, welcome. We spoke to you not long ago, and we got an update on what was happening on your gold operations. Now here we are. With a company that's now got a foot in another camp in lithium. As I said, at the same time, you've also given an update on your operations. What's going on? You're chief executive, you have 8% interest in the business. Where's it going? Where are you driving it?
Well, first and foremost, we're a gold producer in Nigeria. We've built our first mine, which coincidentally is the first gold mine in Nigeria. And we were very happy with how our first operating year went last year. We've had a challenging quarter, where we've had to mine a difficult area of the mine, but we've been happy to get through that relatively unscathed. You're producing 20,000 ounces, and we know that the mining gets less difficult through the year, and the production for the year is strongly weighted to the second half. So we are confident we're still going to fall within or at the upper end of our guidance. In terms of where we're taking the business, we are a gold producer. However, we are a first mover in Nigeria. We've been in Nigeria for 7 years. We've built a team, a very strong team, very strong exploration team. We've built strong relationships in country with the Ministry of Mines, with the federal government, state governments. And most of all, we've gained a very good understanding of operating in the country. So we've always kept the optionality of, if we ever come across anything economically or commercially compelling, we would have a very good look at it. And recently, lithium, of all things, has been looking very compelling in Nigeria. There's very high-grade pegmatites that are being exploited at an artisanal level or small-scale level. And we thought this is possibly a transformational opportunity for the company and its shareholders to be able to advance one of these projects. So what we've done is, over the last few months, we've assembled a land package and just done some very early stage reconnaissance to see, the prospectivity of the land package we've assembled. And we've been very encouraged by the results. So we felt the need that, these are worth doing some scout drilling operations and advancing them without taking anything away from our gold business. We still have a very strong gold business underpinned by strong cash flow. And this will be an excellent complement, value accretive addition for our shareholders.
Just remind us why lithium, why we're all talking about lithium at the moment. Where will the end product go? What is it you're aiming at? What market are you aiming at?
Well, we believe that looking at on a global level, there's a huge supply and demand gap, and that's not going anywhere for a number of years. We do think that if you just look to the global footprint of the moment, there's a lot of end product going into China. We have very strong relationships with Chinese off-takers and Chinese players. Our Segun gold mine was built with using a Chinese EPC contractor who's also a shareholder of ours, a 5% shareholder of ours. Our mining contractor is Chinese, so we have very strong relationships in China as well. And that all adds to our strategic advantage when looking at this commodity.
Is there much overlap then between your gold production and what you're using to get the gold out of the ground that you can re-employ on lithium, or is it a completely different sort of mining operation?
It's a different mining operation, but there's certainly a huge number of synergies. We have a large exploration team. We have vehicles, we have heavy earth-moving equipment, we have access to drill rigs. We've got a massive head start to anyone who wants to come into the country and explore for lithium. We have access to significant geological data as well. We have our own vehicles as well. So there's a huge amount that we see as synergies here. But in terms of actually the mining and the processing, this is a separate business to our gold business.
Just remind us as well as to how you're going to pay for this new project. I mean, we've already said, and in past interviews we covered this, you've already got money coming onto the profit and loss account because you are a gold producer. Is that where the money's going to come from for this, or are you going to have to go to the market to take this particular sort of mining plan ahead?
So, I mean, the beauty about this is we think we can fund all this internally and continue with our gold business. Our gold business, our primary focus is extending our mine life and continuing exploration on the gold side near the mine, and also other areas around the mine. We also have a second gold project in Senegal, where we continue to advance that to preliminary feasibility. But we do have additional cash being generated by the strong cash flow from Segun Lawson. We've earmarked a 5,000-meter initial drill program for the lithium prospects, and that's all internally funded. So our objective is to advance this through to a commercially viable stage and make decisions from there. And we think we can get this all the way through to construction and production without the need to dilute existing shareholders.
Okay, so what now for the project? So what are you going to be doing, and what sort of headlines should we expect coming through from the lithium project as you start out on it?
So our first pass is, testing these pegmatites at depth on our top priority drill targets. We've kicked that off. So we expect sort of early Q3, to start getting some drilling results out. We're also going to be having some exploration drill results on the gold coming out before that, both from Nigeria and Senegal. So we have lots of news flow coming. And of course, we continue to have our operational updates from the gold production in Nigeria.
Okay, let's take a look at the share price chart. You've got a market cap in Canadian dollars, it's 176 million. As I said, you're listed on the Venture Exchange in Canada as well, here in London. This is the share price chart. I mean, look, the direction of travel over the long term, or should I say from the lows we had back in July last year, is in the right direction. I know you're going to say it's undervalued. We've spoken about this before, but in reality, is there a risk now being priced in because of this move into lithium, or do you see ultimately that there's a lot of value to be proven and you should see further upside? What will trigger that upside?
I think we have a lot of catalysts to trigger some upside. First and foremost, our core business, gold production. We're generating cash and reducing our loan. We're reducing our net debt. That's ongoing, and then we start building up cash, a strong balance sheet, so that even if we don't find another ounce of gold or any lithium at all, I believe there's still upside to come from our strong cash flow projections over the next few years. Secondly, we do have growth in the gold business. We have a second project which we're advancing to preliminary feasibility study. That project is currently standing with a global resource of 1.78 million ounces. So there's a lot of value in that being developed, and a lot of value locked in there to be delivered to shareholders. And lastly, look, if we do end up finding any sort of viable resource in lithium, that takes us to another trajectory. That's a huge value addition for our shareholders, and that takes us to another level of valuation. So we have very strong growth coming from different areas, different commodities, different jurisdictions, and all at different stages of development. So we have a very robust, should I say, long-term vision for the company, where we think we can add a lot of value, and not that long-term, over the next 24 months.
Yeah, robust long-term view. That's what we all like to hear. Thanks indeed for joining us. It's a pleasure to be able to catch up with you again, and good luck with the new venture. That's Segun Lawson. He's the Chief Executive of Thor Explorations.